you're doing well. If you don't mind and you want to, please join me for a walk to work. I think I'm not wearing an official branded. Good. I'm not wearing an official branded shirt, so thankfully I can actually film myself as we walk. Been a busy night so far. Got a little bit of trash picked up on the way, mostly plastic waste. I try to do what I can. Got some cool shots to upload later in a short, possibly while I'm doing some of the prep work at work. But they're just adorable shots of the cats. And I saw a super rare, super cool insect. It was a lunar moth. Sadly, I wasn't streaming there because something's going on in New Harley that I'll talk about possibly later, but it's none of my real business. We might have a Wendigo. Or we might have drunk kids playing, who knows. Kid might have had a nightmare. It was a weird thing. Either way, it's been a busy morning. Kids been fed, everything's going good. And I resolved my bucket bag issue. I left my cooler at home since I don't have any medication or anything to pick up and tote. I can basically carry just this, and I got my notebook, so hopefully today, as I'm working processing eggs and chicken parts and cutting up lettuce, tomatoes, and doing the prep work and maybe a little bit of the cooking, I help with the breaks occasionally, but I've moved away from having to cook, and I kind of miss it. Seeing them struggle makes me happy and sad because it's like, oh, I mattered. And it's also like, oh, fuck, you guys kind of need me. Either way, it's been fun. For the most. Give me a second. Like I said, weird shit be going on in New Harley for a Sunday. Oh, by the way, Sunday, July 19th? Give me a second. Of course, I'm trying to check shit, so now everyone needs to go. Let me hook my... Like I said, it's still a working model in progress. But I put a little hook on the end of the... let me flip that around so you can actually see it. Flip. There we go. I put a little hook around the band holding the barrel, and it more or less makes it to where it can't choke me as easily. But if I pull my finger out the hook, well, then unfortunately it's probably going to slip around my neck a little too much for my liking. I strung it over my shoulder, so I should be alright. Hoey. But yeah. It is... oh. Hey, goodness. It is 5:30 in the morning on Sunday, July the 20th. Whoa. Howdy, random person that don't know how to share the road. How you doing this morning? So busy, so racing at 5 a.m. I think they saw a cop and panicked. That's just speculation, of course. They could be, pulling up to hang out at the fine Mexican restaurant after hours. Who knows what odd things people be up to in New Harley at this time, 5:30 a.m. on a Sunday. I'm currently heading into work, and actually I'm kind of used to these numbers in the mornings. I don't know. Normally one or two people show up, but if it's not a work day, people don't normally show up to hang out. I get it. Hell, if I could be asleep right now, I would. But there are perks to working at the ungodly hours. The lunar moth's going to definitely go into my wildlife photo collection on the computer. Honestly, you see them... okay, look, y'all, I'll level with you. I don't know. Maybe they're just in my region. They're not as rare. But they are rare enough that I see about 4 to 5 a year, and that's it. Now, I love lunar moths, but they are by far one of the most tragic moth stories. Because this little fella comes out of larval, kind of looks like a centipede worm. And it's a hungry little guy. It's going to have to be because the lunar moth, and it's not a carnivore. I don't know what it exactly eats. I'll get back to you on that. But the lunar moth basically stuffs itself and gorges itself for a good, I'd say, week or two, maybe even a month. And then it goes into its cocoon state. And when it comes out, this beautiful lime green, I mean, very eerie looking moth. And it's huge, y'all. It's about the size of your hand. I'll share the pictures when I get them. It landed in a bush, and thankfully it let me get pictures of it, just not very many. But yeah, it's about the size of your hand. And it's neon, like pale green. And I got to see one. You get to see about 5 a year here, and you hardly if you're up super duper early. But normally you don't get to see them alive. The tragic part to the lunar moth, it doesn't have a mouth, y'all. It doesn't have one. It loses it in the transforming from caterpillar to moth. But yeah, it doesn't have a mouth, so it basically flies around, lays eggs, fertilizes said eggs, and that's about it. And then it dies and provides food to local fauna like birds. Or ants. I've seen the ants just deconstruct. I think the ants are going to inherit the earth, y'all. I think the ants might have already inherited the earth. If you don't believe me, come to Georgia and just lay on the ground without a blanket for about 5 minutes. Hell, go to Florida and do it and you'll have fire ants. It's still too dark anyway. But it's a rather lovely-ish day. Sorry I didn't live stream the walk or nothing yesterday, y'all. I had a major incident at work and actually had to leave early. It sucked. I don't know if it was just the kitchen was too hot or what it was, but all the liquids in my body decided to leave my body rapidly. Thrice. And since I'm the only person there outside of management that knows how to do prep, I cleaned up my area and finished the prep work and then headed on home. After about 4 hours sitting with my back to the fan and the air conditioner, I got able to do shit again. And I tried to live stream a couple times through it. The reason I think it was heat exhaustion, vomiting started, and then almost as quickly as I got out of that super hot environment where it was walk in front of a fan, you get a blast of cold air. Run in the freezer, you get negative 30-degree air. Run into the fridge, you get negative 20 degrees. Did something to my system, y'all. I'm hoping it don't happen again. We're going to idle down our runs a little bit. And hopefully that problem won't happen again. And I got the YouTube studio thing. I'm hoping y'all still aren't seeing ads. If you're seeing ads, it's not me. I was looking into doing the sticker things and anything right now, if that makes sense. Give me a second. I seem to have picked up something. There we go. There was a large leaf on my boot and it was bothering me for some reason. But I don't feel right asking for money from y'all when, at the moment at least, I'm returning to a place of balance. Yeah, I still owe money and I'm basically just breaking even. But honestly, in this economy for a millennial, just breaking even's pretty good. Also, my projects are moving forward. They're just, it's one of those, you plan for one thing, you work on one thing, and then you have to deal with the real world of paying for every single teeny tiny component of it. Most of which isn't just a flat rate, but it's either an extraordinarily high buy-in or they want you to become a member forever. And it's a low buy-in, but you got to buy in forever. And I still had plenty of lettuce, tomatoes. Well, no tomato slices yesterday. I don't think I prepped any tomatoes because they still had some left over. But, still had plenty of stuff. It's just I only fed the wild. Why not do that? Howdy, random chatter. You're the first one of the evening. And you're already gone. Well, it was nice having you. Anyone who wants to comment in, feel free to leave a comment. Eventually the sunrise will come, but it's live, y'all, and this is just an easy way to spread the good word as well as work hard on doing what we can. Back when I had a little bit of light, not that I'm happy to pollute the nighttime sky, I wish that we had like motion sensor solar powered street lights. Sounds sci-fi, exists in most of the non-shitty countries. Basically what they do is if I, for example, am walking down, pop on when it detected my motion. Now, yeah, still not great for wildlife because you're going to push wildlife out of that area. But you could train them to do like, I don't know. Again, that gets more into the programming side, which I know nothing about. I just know placement and what you could do. And you could make it like a soft light or even like a red light. Though I know that Americans would freak the fuck out if you installed motion sensitive red lights. But they're low enough to where you wouldn't trip. I could see the garbage and refuse to pick up, and it wouldn't bother the animals. I like to think of workarounds for things. I like to think of ways to fix things. But unfortunately, I'm in the devil's taint, so I can't really get that message out there. That's where I depend on you good folks. I don't hope for you to just listen to me. I hope you listen to me. Take some of the things, maybe not all things, but some of the things I say to heart and build on it better. I hope to hear people in chat eventually commenting on their projects they're doing and having relative success. Because again, y'all, if you live indoors, a rare treat in this world, I know, but if you live indoors, you can also grow food year-round. It might just be your windows, friends. Most glass does not allow the particular UVs the plants rely on to get through. So if your plant is a very high need plant for light and you got them in an apartment or something, they'll more or less be choking out even though they're well lit. So if your house plant is drooping down and it's dying off, maybe try moving it to a window you can open occasionally. Start it around. And once they start to take root and start to get bigger, like where I'm at, for example, go 200 feet away from the road and plant it somewhere that it'll blend in a little. That way it grows up big and somebody else, anybody, maybe even not a human body, finds it and eats it and gets stronger and better. Like I said, y'all, it's about bringing the green back. And not the monetary shit that all Americans seem to be so obsessed with these days. But the true green, the one that matters. Whew. But it's just another lovely day. And it appears the two creepy cars that were just chilling here on the hill, either their batteries died or they moved, because I don't see any sign of them now. I keep forgetting which direction the camera's pointed in because, you know, it's so dark out here. I can see all right because my eyes have adjusted to it. But this camera's probably just picking me up from the void. So, long as I'm in the void, and long as I can break at least one urban legend or two, let me try something that might or might not be highly dangerous. Oh, hello, random viewer. I'll rather talk to you instead. I was going to start whistling. Oh well. What was that tune from Metal Gear Solid? Now that I'm finally learning how to whistle, since I finally have all my teeth, thank you, David, and fuck you, Georgia healthcare systems. Fucked before I found David, and before we worked together and we got my dentures. Now that I got dentures, I can whistle. And boy howdy, and am I making that the world's problem. Howdy, howdy, random viewer. How's that tune went though? highly suspicious people will tell you that whistling at night will summon monsters to your location. I'm not scared of no monsters. And yeah, it might attract highwaymen and brigands, but I don't think we have to worry about that much in the modern world. So, and if I do meet a Wendigo, well, hell, who knows? Maybe we can find something in common to work together on. Because Lord knows I'm tired of the modern world, and I'm tired of the rat race, and I'm sure as hell tired of working all the time, trying to take up every minute of my life, trying to just survive. But hey, at the moment, my stress relief went away because our power ain't getting shut off. I made the $8 we needed to carry us over till David gets paid. That was thanks to the good folks that come to my particular eatery and tip their staff. So thank you, anyone out there that decided to tip at a fast food restaurant that puts out a tip jar. We're not the only one, we're one of many, but corporations hate that we do it because old rich cunts hate the fact that there's a tip jar now or a tip option. The main reason the big corporations hate the tip jar is because that means they don't get that cut of the money. If they have an automatic flip around and you pay via the thing to tip, yeah, the boss gets a cut of that. The way we run it, because we've got good bosses where I work at, the heads don't get any of the tip revenue. The tips get split between myself and the rest of the staff and the wait staff. That's why the upfront cashier people, we try to keep them friendly and try to keep them primed to be nice to customers. The other reason corporations don't like a tip jar is simple. Old jackasses, like the old jackasses living in the fucking Ponzi house, they hate the idea of having to tip. They get all up riled about it because you should just be so happy to wipe their ass for them. And I'm sorry, nobody enjoys the job I do. There's a reason that I do it, and I watch people bitch and say anyone can do it. And then I see that our industry has one of the highest turnover rates in the country next to truck drivers, and there's one other one. But yeah, the reason why the service industry is tough, and as the proverbial belt gets tightened, people get meaner. Hell, at this point, I'm just in it. I'm a bit of a masochist. I mean, fuck, what would you consider a person that refuses to purchase a vehicle unless I can make it a green vehicle and not a green vehicle sponsored by a Nazi? I've already had a few assholes be like, oh, you should get a Tesla. Fuck you, fuck him, fuck the Nazi movement. Much like ICE, only good Nazi's a dead Nazi. And I'll say that 10 toes down. How many other creators you know brave enough to say that right now? I know one. Ben Brainard had a great short put out recently. Man's got jokes. Man's got good facts too. Check out his video on if you decide to express your civil rights and protest this terrible administration for any of the many things they're doing. And again, much like he'll say it, but he said it with far more gusto, I was never allowed in the boys' club. But you military folks made a promise to the American people, to the Marines putting their boots on the necks to the people of Los Angeles. The world sees you. You could just, do what your civil duty is and say, I will not follow an unjust order. Will be brought up. And when that day comes, which would you rather be? A strong, honorable soldier that did their duty to their country? Or a pickaninny coward who will happily bow to any fascist who will tap him on his head and say he's a good boy? Because y'all, if they'll take away and strip you everything for failing to follow an unjust order, they'll also strip you of anything because they don't like you. Because you're ugly. Because you don't, fit to their ideas. So just saying, y'all, choose your teams wisely. I choose to be on the team that might purity test me by making sure that I refuse to say stupid slurs for dumbass people with a lacking vocabulary. But at the same time, they would accept me happily if I were, missing my eyelids. If half my face had been burnt off in a terrible accident. If I was wounded, crippled, or otherwise not pretty to look at, the left will still accept you. The right, Well, you best look like Barbie, honey. And if you don't look like Barbie, well, you better look like some kind of Ken. I mean, the only ones that they have that are the freakish variety go for the farthest extremes. And then you've got, you know, turned his face and body into a third grader's desk, Tom McDonald. Named after a famous racist, by the way. Bet y'all didn't know that one. But then again, most people that, you know, get on that Tom McDonald juice get on him thinking he's a proud American and he's just some bitch-ass Canadian making money off you idiots. But that's the thing. I don't like artists that do the whole, oh my God, guys, we love you, but look how much money you've sent us. You're amazing. Yeah, that's because they want more money from you. Fuck them. I like the artists that drop their stuff like Rare Americans do, and they drop shit just to make people feel better. Yeah, they making money. It's the game. You got to pay for the guitars. You got to pay for the tours. You got to pay for the shit. But I feel a lot more like the Rare Americans puts it all into the art, where it's obviously shown. Tom McDonald and the rest of your badass rappers are just pretty little sellouts. And for the record, that goes for any of the MAGA rappers for sure. But anyone that's standing 10 toes down against the genocide, anyone that's not currently arguing for the freedom of the people of LA, no, that's a poser and fuck them. Katie can get fucked on her little rocket. I don't care. She is truly taking up space in the worst kind of way. But even as we tear down their terrible, disgusting gods, we also put up our own people. Apparently, if I play any of his music in my country, they'll fucking jump up my ass for it. Bob Felon, I think. Nope, Bob Villain. Check out Bob Villain. He's a pretty cool dude. When the world said, shut the fuck up about the genocide, he said, hey, fuck you. When the world said, hey, you blacking in Britain, why don't you find your place? He said, bitch, where do you think I came from? This is my place. I like him a lot. A rapper that puts deep shit in his lyrics. Like real historic shit, too. And then, of course, there's a whole bunch of different folk singers, but I need to get their names on a list. Perhaps I'll do that as I work today if I get the chance. But there's plenty of folk singers that sing, like, romance songs from the other side of the barbed wire. Yeah. I always have the same torn feeling because it's one of those, I mean, I get it and I love the mellow tunes and all that, but I'm still hearing a Palestinian story filtered through a white dude's perspective. In the ocean, that means something too, bud. Every single hand working is what'll get our country back. For all those sitting on their hands saying, I'll get to it just as soon as it affects me. By the time it affects you, it's too fucking late. That's something that I wish I could impart on all of my fellow Americans. By the time the floodwater hits your waist, honey, it's too fucking late to prepare. They've parked a real magnifying glass on Texas, but nobody's talking about Missouri. Missouri got flattened by tornadoes. I believe it was tornadoes. The Appalachian Trail, like a good chunk of the middle of it, is still in complete ruins and needing to be slowly rebuilt. Mostly by local effort is this being done. FEMA is on its last legs, and as one of the people from inside of FEMA said, they turned away all but 15% of the calls. And I want you to think about that and see, because it's uncomfortable and it's coming from a crazy person running down the road right now. But think about that for a minute. 15% got through. 15. That means 95% of people, while their house was going underwater, while their children and pets were dying and screaming for help, and they were trying their best to get out of the rising water, 95% of people calling emergency services got, we're sorry, the number you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please try again later. 95%. That's not even fun numbers, y'all. That's not, imagine if it was you. Y'all, that's gonna be you. If you think, oh golly, what if that was me? That will be you. That will be you under this new regime. And there's no getting out. I can't say, well, let's go get him. We can't. That's not a fight you can win. Right now, buckle down, community efforts. Start talking to your neighbors. Start talking to people. I mean, guys, for real now, it's like we have to prepare for the coming storms of this storm season before they hit. We just lost NOAA. Most people don't know what that is. Let me get into it. NOAA is the program that our government uses, working with the naval force as well as the naval force of everyone else around the world. We call it NOAA, they call it something else. But it's a system of communication. That's all it costs, is just we tell you what we know, you tell us what you know, and together nobody gets pounded by a Katrina. And we pulled out of that. Now I know what you're saying, but we saw the hurricanes come. Yes, we did, because we still had it. As of July 13th, I believe it was, or 14th, that was away. The Republicans are sneaky little rat bastards, y'all. And I love rats, so I hate that term, but it fits so perfectly here, especially in old gangsta way. But they're sneaky little rat bastards. Right now is about the time they're getting away from signing bills that we'll know about by the time the sun comes up. So I'm asking you folks, anyone that's not currently bogged all the way down with what work's got you doing because the economy's collapsing and it's going to fall on the backs of the working poor, not on the backs of the rich. There's a reason Zuckerberg owns an island off the side of Hawaii, that he'll kill anyone that gets on that island. He has shot natives before. Google that shit. Native Hawaiians just wanted to go to their own beaches. Shot dead because they dare trespass on Zuckerberg's land. Bezos has his own little underwater bullshit going to be built. Because, you know, he can't just get an island like Epstein and Zuckerberg. He needs him an underwater Sea Lab 2020. I guess 2028 would be the more apt assumption, or 2040. Either way, he wants to have a little underwater setup. I really love that for him, mostly because, well, I mean, look at how many underwater labs work out so well. Yeah, dudes, the supervillains are planning their shit now. And that's not, I mean, you can call me a conspiracy theorist. This is all in the realm of it just sounds good and it kind of matches up. But y'all, it's like, don't look up. There are other people, and they're going to smile at you and say, but I'm just here to be your friend. Don't you want to be friends with me? I mean, let's keep in mind the Epstein list that Trump said multiple times he was going to release. Then he said it didn't exist. Then he said it was a Democratic hoax. Then he said it didn't exist. Then he said he was going to release it. Well, all the Republicans just voted last night to seal the motherfucker, which means that for about 10 years, because our Democratic Party is ballless, we're not going to know a damn thing. And after 10 years, well, we all know Trump and most of the older pedophiles will be dead and out of the reach of justice. And that was kind of his whole ass plan, y'all. I mean, there's a reason he pulled out all the stops in this run. And there's a reason he's hitting the White House and the Congress and all that so hard. He knows this is his one shot, and the Republicans see that as their boring point. They're using that fat, fappy piece of shit as their spearhead. And golly, if the fucking people they broke through stupid media through the 90s all the way up to the mid and present 2000s aren't just lapping that shit up, yucking like seals. I mean, y'all, ICE is on our lands right now, funded better than any other military group. Anywhere. Anywhere. Are they bringing in the gangbangers and the fucking monsters? No. Who are they going after? College students, public speakers, grandmas. Y'all, pay the fuck attention, please, I beg of you. Open up those closed eyes and do anything that you can. Me, I'm planting food anywhere and everywhere I can. And I'm on here every day, showing you it's possible. It's just fucking hard. But America, we've had it easy for a long time. It's time for it to get a little hard. And if you can't take it, well, fascism's right there. It'll give you a sugar pill and a goodnight kiss as it kills you. Or you can come out and fight. You can come out in the field and work. You can be strong and stalwart and brave and say that you ain't gonna support this shit no more. Again, I'm not saying be violent. I'm saying be creative. Hell, if you see ICE, you know what the brave individuals at a courthouse did? They linked their arms together so that the brave and dear immigrants could escape while the ICE officials beat the unholy shit out of them. Sometimes that's what it's gotta be, y'all. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to be the punching bag, because the fascists sure do love to punch the shit out of stuff, don't they? I want you to be nonviolent, though, for one reason. It shows their weakness and our strength. Of all the moments that happened during the Black Lives Matter movement, of all the epic, iconic moments, two stick with me the best. One was a Marine, and I wish I remembered his name for this moment because he's lost to time for me. But it was in the LA riot, I want to say, or the one that happened shortly after George Floyd's death. I saw it on the Facebook, and it was before AI got good. But he basically stood there as journalists were falling back, and in his military uniform stood at attention trying to block them with his arms out. And you could see these aggressive pigs take their fucking sticks and start beating the shit out of him to bring him down to arrest him. And he just started screaming with his arms out, "I am non-violently resisting you," as they tried and failed to chop down this tree of a man. That's the kind of shit that's needed. The naked Athena, who the right laughed at but were secretly terrified of, the woman who stood right out there on protest lines, bare as the day she was born. Those are the people we need right now. And good news for those of us that ain't quite brave or ain't quite as pretty without our clothes on, like myself. Yeah, you've also got the ability to actually fight in other ways. Plant growable food. Recycle and compost everything but the plastic you find. Always try to use the proper bins, even though all we're doing is throwing out teaspoons of water from a sinking ship. If you get enough hands making enough of a difference, you will see a difference. If everyone just keeps sticking to the 9 to 5 and keeping their head down with the hopes of not starting waves and not getting in trouble, well then congratulations. You'll basically, well, you, if you're watching this on YouTube, will probably not get shit. You're gonna get killed in this. If you're one of the Nepo babies or Nepo babies' children, you'll get to see a whitewashed world that is lacking in color, expression, or joy of any kind, where men are meant to be emotionless husks, meant only to produce sperm into women, and women are only receptacles to be kind to their men. That is all they want. That is their whitewashed American bullshit dream. Your kids are well behaved because if they aren't, you beat them senseless. If they dare step a toe out of line, you either beat them senseless or medicate them to the point that they're like Stewie from that Family Guy episode where he's on the stack of pillows and it's just great, Brian. Y'all, why we got to medicate the kids so much? Is it because they see that their adults are basically giving them a death trap and saying, why aren't you more grateful? I'm telling you, don't give them death to inherit. Give them life. Plant a plant. Help out a folk. Also, hello, two people. How long will you stay in the madhouse? We're heading into work like it. One's already gone. But we're heading into work like every day. Picking up a little bit of litter here and there as I can see it. It's time for me. Oh, other one's already gone. It's time for me to show off how good the people of U Harley are. We've got a sidewalk, and since I got a minute, I'll take you on this sidewalked walk. It leads nowhere towards U Harley, but right over here to your friendly neighborhood AutoZone. And nowhere else. This is not what the people need. It's a start. It's just, a little gaudy and a little too big, but it's a start. Unfortunately, it's only for the people buying $400,000 houses. Well, renting $400,000 houses. You don't buy anything anymore. What are you, silly? You don't get to buy anything anymore. You get to rent because people in other states far, far away from you own what you own. Like that poor retiree been living in the same apartment in the Bronx for 16 years. Landlord's got the place full of holes. Half her electrical outlets don't work. But they're down in Florida living their best life, so fuck her, right? And that's the way our country treats people. It's the problem that I had with FEMA in the beginning after the first 2 hurricanes hit in Florida and in Louisiana, was that FEMA only really helped the homeowners. It didn't help the renters. It didn't help the people in need. It helped the businesses. It helped the douchebags. But for you and me, nah, fuck us. We are expected, as the working folk are always expected, to carry the burden and carry it with a smile. I'm not telling you to be violent, folks. I'm just saying stop smiling. I think Gen Z's got the right shit with that Gen Z stare thing. Because sometimes that's all it takes with some of them. I mean, at this point, I've already got one of the assholes that is fully like, whenever I show up, she shuts the fuck up. And that's not entirely intentional, but fuck it. She knows I ain't going to sit there quietly. When I'm not there, according to other coworkers, she's all about, I just don't understand why everyone's so hard on Trump. He's doing a good job. I show up, she shuts the fuck up because she knows I'd immediately lay into it. Not into her, into it. Oh, he's doing a good job, is he? You know that Texas is still underwater in parts. 28 children are dead, but we got us a concentration camp in the middle of Florida where we lock up grandmas and small children to shit in a tiny bucket in a sweat-inducing room, and we send their husbands out to labor in the fields until they die. My, what would that be called if we were honest with ourselves? Definitely not Alcatraz, because none of those people are criminals. They're just American citizens. But, you know, they don't look like you, so fuck them, right? They don't come from your neck of the woods, so fuck them, right? I think as people, we need to stand stronger. And I think people need to quit playing chicken with someone don't give a shit no more. I'll give you the space allotted, but if you hit me, I'm just going to sue you, buddy. I've got you on film hitting me. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything dangerous. This is literally the MapQuest and the Google Quest board. This is where it tells me to walk. Blame the city that they didn't see fit to put in any kind of a walkway. I got to get to work like the rest of you fucks. Just unlike y'all, I don't get to sit leisurely and let NPR enjoy it while you got it. Because I don't have that. On the other side, I'm also not killing our grandkids and great-grandkids. When the skies blacken with soot, and again the question rises of who did this, I can timidly say, hey, wasn't me. And I'll take that tiny bit, even if I got to take that tiny bit to the grave. Because honestly, I ain't better than nobody. And I think everybody needs to realize that. Nobody's better than anybody. The reason the ICE raids on the entire nation are pissing me off increased more and more as we call out the fat fascist. Okay, let me be clear on that one because it sounds like I'm body shaming. Let's be absolutely clear. Big, beautiful women, I love. Big, beautiful men, I love. Trump is a disgusting piece of fatted shit. The man looks like rancid cheese wrapped in old pantyhose and left in the Florida sun for 3 weeks. The man is disgusting on every visceral level. From his bad tie job to his bad dye job to his bad fucking shoes. He is just a garbage human being from top to bottom, and he smells like soggy diapers from what I hear. And here's the thing. If you gotta be that way, then own it. But he don't have to be that way. He has more money than God now. And yet he still looks like a dilapidated piece of shit. And he's bringing up shit from people that don't exist anymore and picking fights with people that aren't even relevant in other countries. Our leader's gone completely insane is what I'm telling you, folks. Our leader is completely the fuck insane. And any sane country would be taking the keys away from him. But because we have such a broken and stupid system, we let him build a little protective ring of basically sycophants. Because to this day, Pam Bondi and the rest of his sycophants would be saying, oh no, our president is the fittest he's ever been. America has never been more popular. Folks, let me tell you something. Let me ask you something about popularity. Disney World's pretty popular. J.D. Vance kicked a bunch of children off of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride so he could experience his best little life. So Disney World's pretty popular. You want to know how I know it's popular? Even though its mascot is an evil fucking corporate thing? You want to know why I know it's popular? People are going there. People are choosing and dropping enough money to buy a family SUV to go and listen to a bunch of douchebags sing, "It's a small world after all." So, yeah, people are still going. How many people have come to America since Trump made it in office? How many shows we got from other countries coming over here? Bob, them being, if you insult their leader, you're going to go to alligator prison and get murdered. If we were a popular country, where's all the people coming? Ain't nobody coming in anymore. And I see two people keep popping in and popping out, popping in and popping out. I don't know if it's either my signal or y'all waiting for me to go back to ripping purely on the country. No, y'all, this is accountability time. Everybody, we got the president we deserved. I'm sorry, it sucks. Now we got to earn good presidents again. We got to earn good cabinets. You want to know how we earn it? Rednecks. People banded together, fighting against this totalitarian douchebag together. And when we get told, well, we'll fucking shoot you, we look dead at them and go, well, I'd rather die free than live on my fucking knees. Don't shut up. Don't stop. Keep pushing that envelope. Because it is working, y'all. Why do you think they've upped the ICE rates? Why do you think, well, I know why. I've seen like 10 sheriffs on this road tonight. That's another subject that I'll talk about here in a couple weeks. It was a weird thing. If I remember, I'll level with y'all probably in a couple weeks. I'll write a note down about it because it's probably not going to pop up in the blotter. It's just rare that they come up to my antisocial ask and ask questions in a nice and polite manner. Though it's always the same cop, and I gotta say, I need to get your name because I appreciate you, Bubba. You're a nice fella. Some cops are nice guys. Like I said, not everyone gets on the force because they want to oppress people. It's just a byproduct of an evil system. It's what happens in the end because that's the system they got. You could be a wonderful blue-eyed baby walking into the Hitler Youth. You're still going to come out a fascist piece of shit. And as long as we realize the same thing, we have the same goal at the end of the day. To the fuckers living in the middle houses, to the fuckers we're about to see up ahead that live in the big houses. And yeah, it's kind of funny how the South is still built and they got to drive as far. And then we pack everyone else up in the trailer parks way back in the centers. And we make sure to cut them off by making the roads real complicated and making them real dangerous to go on. So nobody that doesn't have any rights or business being there, nobody uncouth will show up at town halls here. It's designed that way. But why is that? Well, my friends, that's the whole reason we're even here in the first place. The thing that drugged me out of my little eldritch cave, Pepsi this time, at least it wasn't alcohol, that making lots of fucking noise. I used to, for years and years, I've walked this road, taken quiet note, not bothered nobody, and I've just watched and observed, and I've observed more and more people move out and more businesses rent out, partially on the renter there. I hear the landlords constantly say, oh, my renters destroy the place, my tenants did it. And it's like, I get it, but how kind are you to your tenants? Can they decorate their place? Do you have a weird, do you have your own codes because you get to be sheriff and have a superhero one? We have two superhero ones. And if you watch Propaganda, plenty of others. We have two superhero ones. And if you watch Propaganda, plenty of others. But I've never actually seen one IRL. I've seen homeless folk that basically work their ass off collecting garbage and other things because they have to work in that park every other day. A prettier environment's better to look at than a trash heap. Meanwhile, some of these folks wouldn't even get trash off their own lawns if it weren't for folks like me coming through just randomly picking the shit up. Because, why should I? Someone else threw it out their car. Inmate do something, right? I hate people so much. And yet, what I do for the sake of others, not for myself. And that's straight up metal. That would have never broken down. That would have been here long after these douchey houses fell in on themselves. and the human world has collapsed about 2050. Oh, what? Were y'all thinking I was going to give you some far out flung date? Nah, hun. Unless we do something, and we ain't doing nothing good right now, unless we do something 2050. Date's on the calendar. Oh no, it's not going to be a comet coming down from the sky. It's not going to be some grand thing. No, it's just going to get so hot in 2050 sometime that we're all just not going to wake up no more. The ones that do wake up in their air conditioning little houses, that's going to be the fun ones. Because y'all will have it until the grid goes down almost immediately. Because it's going to get so hot outside, liquor bottle. Because it's going to get so hot outside that our bodies can no longer regulate it. And then we're just going to drop dead on the streets. Folks in these houses, that ain't going to break down. Folks in these houses, they're going to live for long enough to be horrified by what they see. Looking out the window, seeing trees catch, that's going to break down, I hope. Seeing trees catch open fire. I would tell you to check out some of the island nations that have experienced global warming, but I can't because they're now underwater scenes. But I can tell you all that cool Egyptian shit we're finding in the ocean right now. Yeah, that's because Egypt has been slowly getting washed out by fucking climate change. When we find, oh my God, they had modern technology. Yeah, that's because that was above the water like 5 years ago. Pay attention to the real world and get your head out to alien bullshit. Because hiding behind fantasy is real nice. Who knows? Maybe the Christians are right. Jesus will come down after all of it and save us. I've never seen a Jesus save anything. Whenever someone has saved anyone, it might be a Jesus, but that's a Jesus, not a Jesus. Like I said, I've never seen a divine intervention save a fucking person. It's always been a divine doctor, a divine firefighter, a divine random douchebag like me, random asshole that took CPR. It's the random motherfucker with Narcan in his pack. You're the hero. You're the Jesus. And what pisses me off is the Christians are going to co-opt you like you were there for them. I'm just here for the people. That's a rock. I'm just here for the people and to do what I can to try to help where I can, as much as I can, until I am gone. And when I'm not going to fuck with that, because that still got beer in it. The other downside to living in a very capitalistic, very shitty environment is just that. If I collect the alcohol containers, which I would very well happily do, if I go into work smelling like a liquor store, pissed off as I am with the capitalist pricks that it is, how long do you think I'd keep a job, folks? So, for the drunks out there who decide to throw their alcohol bottles out and cans because they're stupid, and yes, if you're throwing trash out on the road, you're just a cunt. You're just a douchebag. I have no sympathy for the litter bugs. The only ones that I have sympathy for in that sense are the ones that are throwing food out and seed-bearing plant out. Because we need more of that. We don't need more liquor bottles in the ditch, y'all. We're good on those. It's completely well stocked. Trust me, I know. I've been picking them up for days. And I keep getting one viewer gone, 2 viewers gone, 2 viewers. Maybe I'm not friendly enough. Do I need to be friendly? Do I need to be more revealing? Do I need to dance for y'all? Or is it just my camera? Or is it the fact that I'm always pissed off now? I don't try to be pissed off. This is just basically my resting personality, it seems. Mild panic with a side of fucking hell. But that's also because this is what I've done today for the benefit of the people around me. And this bucket smells terrible because it's an old pickle bucket. What have they done for the people around them, you wonder? Because non-native plants aren't going to help out anything other than non-native species. And the people that designed those rich assholes' yards should have done it better. Because we all know they didn't do it. Not a single one of the cunts in that house probably know a fucking tree from a shrub. But they hired somebody, and that's prairie poppy, and that somebody decided to plant invasive but pretty plants. Like I said, we got to stop this wholeheartedly. I wish I could tell you that the stores will do it, but like a good neighbor, State Farm endorsed the fossil fuel industry for millions because they know their insurance rates will go up through the roof once houses start going under. Plus, having people that can actually read on their staff as opposed to people that just feel it out, talking about big balls in Congress, is just that. Having people that actually read, you can read a map. Reading the map, I can tell you that it's about 2025 now. So if you live on the Savannah coastline, it's time to move, friends. Time to move fast, time to move now. If you're renting on that coastline, maybe, just maybe, it's time to look for other rental property further inland. There are maps for it. Check out PBS Eons while they're still around. Y'all, here's the thing, and this is what the fascists are counting on. A whole bunch of y'all been spoon-fed for your entire goddamn lives. And y'all, we're about to go back to the bad old days when us millennials were young, that plenty of your younger millennials don't even remember. You're going to have teachers teaching class that the earth is actually flat. You're going to have teachers teaching children that, well, the reason the black man is in that position is because his ancestors just loved working in the sun so much. You're going to have the open, like, man in the high tower level of racism and bigotry. And for some of y'all, that's the goal. For those of you who are like that, kindly fuck off. I don't want you in my life or anywhere near me. For those of you who aren't, friends, we can fight it before it gets that bad. But it takes you realizing how much danger you're in. Let's stop being Ralph on the school bus and start being more, I don't know who a positive character in that show is. None of them, really. Lisa, but she's, you know, the outspoken ne'er-do-well who also has a bad streak, because we've seen Lisa basically choose the wrong decision because she's still supposed to be human, or whatever Simpsons passed for. But at the same time, y'all, it's bad. And it's hard to talk about it without sounding like a completely deranged person. Lucky for me, I don't care that I sound like a completely deranged person. Because if I can inspire just one of you, just one or two, movements can start to form, things can start to shift and shake. Because it's up to us, y'all. Whether we came down on an alien spaceship, we were spooied out by some alien god, or we're the product of billions of years of natural evolution over a long enough time scale. Whatever got us here, we're here. We're smart enough, hopefully, to see what's going on around us. If you can see and you can see what needs to change, fucking change it. I'm going to constantly keep saying, do it non-violently. Because if I don't constantly say, do it non-violently, someone's going to hop on here after a Republican shoots up a church and say, hey, that loud dude was talking about evil Christians. And then this dude shot up a church. I'm not here to do that, y'all. Violence is not the answer in this case yet. Unless you see ICE agents. ICE agents are always pieces of shit. Anything you can do to make their day better or worse, please do. It's your civic duty to fight Nazis like that. I'm not saying hurt them yet. I'm saying hurt their feelings. Apparently they don't like being called Gestapo ugly fucking pigs. So I implore you, please, if you know an ICE agent or you see an ICE agent, call that disgusting fucking pig a disgusting fucking pig. Right to their goddamn piggy face. But only do that if you're my color. If you're not my color, you might want to be careful, because they will definitely shoot you because they are fascist pigs. Can't do it, it's beer. I'll try to pick those up on the walk back in and dump them in JoJo's dumpster. But that's the thing. Now that we're getting near a little past the midway point, I'm going to go a little bit more Mr. Rogers with my message and point out the best way to help in this situation, don't get like me. I'm burnt out because I've been fighting this hard, good fight for so goddamn long that when I see a rebel flag, the first thing I want to do is look at him and go, you a bigoted, stupid piece of shit. Why the hell did your parents meet at the fucking family reunion? That is not the way you reach people. That is not the way you grow a unit. You got to grow by getting people more on your side. Here's the problem. If I was flying a swastika flag and playing the tuba with my lederhosen on and just saying, hey, y'all, it's just my ancestors and culture, you would immediately know on its face, oh, no, that's fucked up and we shouldn't. Nah. But the rebel flag, it seems, is starting to come back into vogue in the South. Who could have guessed a massive racist just took office and the entire staff is being cabineted by Fox News hosts? Oh my God, how would racists have ever taken over again? That's how. Oh, and for the rest of my fellow in the LGBTQIA plus group, y'all, we need to call it right now. In America, it has quietly now been known as by removing the B off of Stonewall now. First it was the T, then it was... Basically, we are now the GL, I think is what it is, because it's just the GL. They removed the ace, they removed the trans, and now they've officially removed the bi. So, I mean, that rainbow's getting awfully small, y'all. Stonewall happened because they made that rainbow a little too small, and folks got uppity. Where are all my uppity folks at? Because that's what we need right now. Those are the real American citizens. The ones out to lunch, the ones chilling at the lake shore, grilling and having a good old time. Well, I'm not here to shame them. They can enjoy the fall of the country that we all love. But I say we don't roast marshmallows on America's corpse. I say we build it back better. I say we do it the real way, by first facing a whole lot of uncomfortable truths and making a whole lot of promises that we need to actually fucking keep. Because I would never dare to try to go to the fucking Native American nations and be like, hey, y'all, we need to work together and overthrow the government. You wanna know why I would never be that way? One, the American government will just fucking bomb the fuck out of us, period. You think they're scared to lose a tiny piece of the map? Look at how big Texas is. It's underwater. 28 children died right on television. People still camping out and enjoying the day, though. Life goes on. We don't even care about ourselves, y'all. We don't. We've got too much land and we don't care about anything but ourselves. And by that, I don't mean, oh, my fellow American, I will reach out to you in this time of need. No. Oh, my immediate family member is all that I care about. And that's how the fascists win. One step at a goddamn time. First, they got you to stop caring about your fellows outside of the country because they weren't your neighbors and that ain't your problem. Who cares how many times we bomb Palestine? Who cares if we're going back to war with Iran? Who cares if Libya's joining in this time? Fuck it, who cares? None of them matter to us. We're not them. They're not our neighbors. And then it became, well, the hurricanes hit Texas real hard. Fuck Texas. They voted for Trump. Fuck them assholes. They ain't us. They're not my family. They're not my neighbors. I'll care when it comes to me. Oh, by the way, Grandma don't have Medicaid anymore. She can't afford her insulin. She's going to die in a couple days. What? We need to stop. Hey, guys, come on, guys. We all need to get together. Freedom fighters from, oh. Well, that's okay. You guys from, oh. Oh, shit. I done let all my allies die, and now I'm standing all alone. Oh, me, oh, my. Whatever will save us now? It's a position we put ourselves in. We got no right to bitch. What we need to do is build ourselves back out of it. Grow wild things around you. Grow edible plants. Learn the land around you so that you can make it work out better. And yeah, my rants are a little unhinged. Look at the timer. I have been steadily walking for an hour and 4 minutes. And I walk for about 20 minutes before that camera gets turned on to get to where I'm getting to. Just to get into work, where I will go in and I will work roughly about 6 to 9 hours. And then if I do not have a ride, and as it is Sunday, I probably will not have a ride, then I will walk back home through all of this. The entire time, gathering garbage that I will not in any way be compensated for doing. In fact, I will be mocked for it. And I'm supposed to just keep on being cool with it, y'all. We happy here. Don't I look happy? The problem is that I'm not going to say go do violence. I'm not going to say we ride at dawn, us versus the world. What I'm going to say is, y'all, it's lonely out here. Come, join me. Maybe not like physically walking with me, because I get it, I yell a lot, and I smell a little funny from the 4 mile long hike into work every day. I get it. But pick up a little bit of litter around you. It ain't hard. It ain't scary. As long as it's covered in fire ants or nothing, it ain't gonna bite you. Or nuclear radioactive, but let's hope we haven't hit that level of American decay yet. Like I said, y'all, and I do this walk every day. I have had 10 people, I want to say, offer me rides, but oh shucks, they were just so busy at work they couldn't break away. But I'll get you next time. Oh shucks, I'd give you a ride, bud, but I just ain't got the gas. But I'll get you next time. Oh shucks, but y'all, if you can't help a brother out, it's cool. Just don't help a brother out. Everything you add before the but is just there to make you feel better. If you can't help a person out and you feel bad for not being able to help them out, that's kind of the point. That's your conscience. And it's not your fault. I also feel bad every time I see a little friend of mine dead on the side of the road that I have to scoop off the side of the road and into the brush because we don't pay any city workers to actually come out and clean. But if I dropped like a few dead deer in that field, that dude would have lads out here cleaning it tomorrow. That's the problem. We're not corporations. In mid-90s, we started to let them see corporations as people. Well, early 2000s, not really mid-90s there. But just that, we fucked up. And now we need to fix that fuck up. And the only way that I can see to fix it is to work together. And maybe somebody who's way better at speaking than me take these words and make them into something better. Because y'all, it's only a matter of time. I've seen the fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style gray hair. My body's starting to break down. Yesterday at work was a clear warning sign I need to slow it down and stop. Unfortunately, I am the way I am. I don't know how to be another way. And the way I am is fighting fucking hard, tooth and nail, to try to keep the land that I promised to protect safe as I can. That's why I'm begging y'all. Do something. Do anything. Do anything other than nothing. Because hell, do you see me picking up every piece of trash? No. If it's paper, if it's biodegradable, I leave that shit behind. But if it's bullshit, for fuck's sake, people. This belonged to a child, I'm guessing. And somewhere a kid can't see for shit. But the parent couldn't be bothered to come back and check on it. Nobody can be bothered to backtrack a trail to pick up something that matters. But boy, howdy will we bitch when it's gone. For example, the number of coworkers I have that desperately need their automobiles repaired or replaced, but otherwise can't do it. Well, we could all unite, fight together, literally slow the restaurant down to a damn crawl until the boss, the big boss, the ones that we've never seen working there, but they all go to a spiffy dinner once a year to meet. That big boss, the leader of it all, has to come down and actually speak to all us people like people and has to look into the face of his workers that he has neglected for years. But hell, their heads, the ones above my boss, can't even sit in the fucking restaurant for more than 20 minutes because the heat in the restaurant is so bad they start to get sick. Which again, I experienced yesterday. And my coworkers were very nice. Only like 2 of them realized, and I distinctly heard one of them go, ew. And I heard that, and I felt that, and I felt gross, but I get it. It was gross. It was not my fault. It was not my plan. And it might happen again. I gotta quit doing all these squats. Maybe eventually when I get a paycheck that's not in the negatives, I'll pick me up one of them there fancy grabbers. Like I said, y'all, any little thing you can do makes a difference. Jesus Christ, just being willing to share the road a tiny bit makes a difference. But again, it's early and they don't know me, so fuck me. It's not like I don't look kind of obvious out here. Standout shirt, bright colored, customized hat, unique, Mr. Friendly white person exterior minus all my fun tattoos. And maybe we'll go into a breakdown of those sometime. But right now, I'm trying to get a good shot of the walk and to give y'all a good sight of what I can do with what little bit I got. Sadly, and this shit is bullshit, y'all, seriously. Oh, it's little, it won't make a difference. That's gonna choke a small bird to death or a small otter. Some small creature's gonna get into this thinking that it's delicious and it's a good food item, and they're gonna eat it, and then they're gonna die a slow and painful death because your dumbass couldn't bother to take trash that fits in your fucking pocket to a trash can. Ditto to the fucking bottles. So many water bottles. Y'all, I've been using this same water bottle. Don't ask me where I acquired it from. It doesn't matter. But I've been using this same water bottle that it was clean when I opened it. It was sealed. It's clean water. It's clean tap water. But I've been using this one water bottle, and I'll use it until it fucking turns to jelly in my hands. Am I drinking a fuck ton of bad microplastics? Oh yeah, bet you, probably. That is the price we pay for the convenience we keep. Also, there's another artwork video dropping soon. Sorry I've been neglecting it, y'all. Being that the gaming channel's kind of died, I guess y'all don't like my video game playing. That's cool, I get that too. I will continue posting them for what few views I get from future viewers. But, you know, I get it. I'm just trying to figure out what fits. And I want y'all to realize that I'm never bitching at you. Hell, you just watching this and giving me the views. Oh, I fucking hate that company. But you just watching this and giving me the views, that helps. You watching this, sharing it to some of your dipshit conservative friends on the YouTube or on the Facebook or whatever you happen to be on, that helps a lot too. If you just see it in it for a few seconds and keep going, even that helps. But hell, it'd mean a world to me if you would just, if you're not into what I do, but you want to help me do a little bit more and make it completely free, it's free to hit that subscribe, y'all. Hit it enough times and I can do more marketing shit on YouTube and start growing the community. I can start selling some of the artwork that y'all see in the shorts that I make, because all the wooden pieces I still have. The staves are still, I mean, minus a few that I've sold by mouth. Oh, look, is that Sweet Death come to greet me? No. Just some rich prick showing off what he ought not. Again, y'all, you want something cool, show me something old as hell that you've souped up. He bought a toy out of a box. Let's all applaud him. Let's all applaud. He got a toy, y'all. Thousands of Americans are dying in the streets. He got a toy, though, y'all. He wants to drive fast and be man. Well, drive fast, be man. Be sad, sad, little driving fast man. Some of us might be moving slow, but what I'm doing at least will bring me some degree of pride. Maybe you can be proud of that little toy you bought, dipshit. I've broken with that part of my life. You ain't what you own. What you own owns you. Ooh, that's a newt. That's what you call a teeny tiny keystone. That's actually from all the way in town. That's by the high school. Huh. Here I thought if you live, well, I guess if you live in some of the richer, higher end houses, you get to go wherever the fuck you want, regardless of where you live. If you're a poor kid and you Harley, you typically end up going to Woodland, which is a decent distance away, but it's the Thespian Academy. We put on plays, and my bucket is full now. We put on plays and shit. But see, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Little things. That's what I've done today, and it ain't much. Is it gonna save the world? Absolutely the fuck not. Is it gonna make that much of a difference? Nope. In fact, it cost me a carabiner. That little thing there that hooks it together is now broken. But it's fine. It'll still hold the thing in place. And I don't need fancy, I need functional. And I can always simply hold it via my hand. But like I said, y'all, it's hard to be good. That's why I'm begging y'all to do it. And yes, I know this is the ugliest possible angle I can get on myself. Give me a break. The thing broke, so I'm having to make this to where it don't strangle me. And I can't exactly put my drink in the garbage bucket. Because I know how nasty you motherfuckers are. I don't know what's in these cups. I just know I have to prioritize. So styrofoam and metal break down the slowest. I grab it. When I'm about out of room, I start grabbing the paper products because they'll eventually break down over time. And we do need to lessen what we're sending to our landfills because, guys, you know what also tariff tyrant dictator said? When we cut off China from the trade and whatnot, where's our garbage going to go? China still takes giant chunks of America's just refuse. We sell it to them or we buy it from them. They make a profit off of it. But a lot of countries have basically stopped because we produce so much garbage and such dangerous levels of it because, again, most Americans are too lazy to even sort their own garbage. And that's sad in my opinion. Y'all do better because we can do better. We should do better. Because I'm sorry, but if you're fine with how the government's going, well, then you deserve what's coming next. And I'm sorry to say it that way. But what's coming is going to be rough on all of us. And I'm here to save as many as I possibly can. But my boat is non-existent. I'm basically trying my best to teach y'all how to swim. Eventually, we might have a boat someday, y'all. As a community, I've often dreamt of taking one of these vast plots of land that they're ripping the shit out of, and just as the community buying the plot of land, figuring out by housing code, because I don't think we're allowed to just live in tents, but figure out the most minimalist form we can. Build grids, build everything we need, but you know, build a true, actual, like, our own community with our own sense of things. Work with the law where we can, but definitely fight the unjust forms of it like ICE. Work with the locals, grow things, get things done right. But my way is hard, and the other way is easy. The big difference is, one way leads to death and diabetes, and my way leads to pretty views and some of the ugliest legs you've ever seen, but with some of the biggest muscles. There's a tiny red bug lives out here, y'all. I'm not gonna say the name because my teeth might slip, and it's one of those fun southern words. But they're little red bugs. And in their larval form, you can't see them. But in their parasitic red form, you can. They nest up high on tall invasive grass like these, on their stalks ideally, because that's the best thing to do. So it'll basically slap it into your leg. And then they burrow in. If you get a larva, it'll itch like a mosquito bite. That's because the larva has fed and has left now. As long as they're stuck in you, you're not going to feel them because they produce a numbing agent in their saliva. And they're called little red bugs, by the way, now. I believe they changed their name finally because, well, hell, I'm sure I've got enough older people in my audience after all the fucking and cussing and anger. So, yeah, if I'm spelling it correctly, which I think I am, Chigger spells the creature that I hate by far. They dig in real good and they dig deep. And eventually you'll see their actual full-grown form, and they're they look like teeny tiny berry bugs, and that's actually what they usually live on. Because here's a fun tip, they're not from Satan, they're from Mother. And what they do is they live on berry bushes, and their favorite prey choice is birds or small mammals like squirrels and birds that come up to the berry bush to eat. And then the little red bugs can jump on them. We humans kind of accidentally picked them up and there goes the cup. We humans kind of picked them up as a byproduct because oopsie poopsie, we fuck shit up a lot. Opa! And by doing, like, getting rid of all the berry bushes and eliminating all the animals that these fellers can feed on, we have since become their only food source, their only targets. So, guess what? Nature never, fuck that one then. That couple stay behind. I did what I could and I'll get it next time if I can. Like I said, y'all, eventually I'm going to find the lid to this again, and then we'll be a little bit better off because I'll effectively be walking with a trash can on my hip. But until I get it worked out right, this is very uncomfortable. Oh wow, you're still here. Hello, viewer. How are you doing today? Mine's actually going pretty well, surprisingly, despite all my complaints. I hope you are doing well. Hello, secondary viewer. Maybe if I'm friendly, more people will show up. How are you doing today? This used to be a forest. It used to be a thicker forest than that over there. This forest helped give root and system that held up the road. That's why they're having to demolish it quite so far before they put something in. What's it gonna be? Nah. I have heard both luxury condos. I've heard affordable apartments. That one I laughed at because, again, rather than building new ones, how about you just fix up the supposedly affordable housing on the other side of Cartersville? It's a little bit further than where I work at. It's a little bit further than where I work at, or if I lived there, I would literally be happy. Like, I couldn't film these if I worked there. The videos would be too short. It'd take me like 10 minutes to walk into work. But if you want to live there, I highly suggest you get comfortable with roaches, bugs, and some good neighbors, some real bad neighbors. Or they could fix that place up, repair some of the electrical work, make it to where it's not such a dangerous, iffy place, and build it up higher. I'm not against apartments and high rises. I'm against slumlords and douchebags. I'm against a society constantly saying, well, bucko, why don't you go in there? I mean, I would, but you know, there's no real safe passage to get in there. And the only passageways are lined with filth, beer cans, and poison and or stinging plants that do things like, since we got the light, this. Look at them. Look at how beautiful they are. Also, as long as I'm showing you my disgusting legs, where'd it go? It's on the other leg. Hoppa. This is what 3 years of walking through the wilderness give you. Pretty, pretty legs. And pretty, pretty tattoos. The tattoos I did to cover up scars, and eventually I'll cover up all the scars. Sadly, to do that, I need more needles. I've got one of those little handy-dandy order at the cheapo sites you sell tattoo guns, and I love it. So, chat, which way should I go? Which way is the safe way to go? Because that's trespassing, and I have been so informed. Unfortunately, I don't want to die by some douchebag in a car running me down on a Sunday morning. So I'm gonna trespass on their little site. Oh no, the workers got no problem with me because, like, again, I pick up trash, I keep to myself, I film my adorable little videos, and they usually hear me cussing and yelling about shit that they probably only hear tiny bits of. So I'm an amusement to them. The big boss actually stopped by, or some of them stopped by in a truck weeks ago and told me that if they catch me on this property, I'll be arrested. And I'm, okay. You'll save me a few hours work, buddy, and then I'll get my lawyer to countersue you because, yes, I'm trespassing, but you have basically eliminated any way to travel past your work area safely. So we can do this dance in court. You playing with the wrong one, bitch. I got a lawyer still. And that is a fucking wonderful thing to have in this terrible place we live in. You can learn the law yourself, folks, but I wouldn't suggest it. A fool is their own lawyer. Oh. Now, this is where the stream cut last time. Let's see if I can do this without cutting my stream. Also, they fucked up my plans. The construction site used to have a dumpster out in this area, as you can tell from where they've ripped up the land. And I used to typically, when I came through this part, sorry for getting all up in you. When I came through this part, I would just dump my trash stuff in their dumpster. Because fuck it, they're robbing us of shade and peace and comfort. I almost did an awkward. Why not go ahead and rob them of a little bit of trash space? Stare at the disgrace that they have done to us. And I'm going to go relieve the beast. Give me a moment. So much water. I know you're still here. It's awkward. I'm not touching my ear, and I hope you're not touching the screen. But yeah, they moved the dumpster. I'm guessing they moved it down further where they're destroying more tree line and brush. And, well, if they're going further enough, they're far enough back. Honestly, I hate kudzu, but I'm starting to love it. One, you can't eat it. It's about the same as green, and it tastes about the same as green. You just gotta watch out for black green. And if it's got leaves that's different plant than a paper plant, you're still gonna be eating that paper plant contamination all the way through it. So if you're gonna go with kudzu, I would highly suggest very much cleaning it thoroughly. Treating it more like, I don't know how much that y'all heard, I hope all of it. But if you go with eating kudzu, you can do it and it tastes similar to greens. So basically it's a very woodsy taste and it does good with various spices. What I personally do is like to mix honey with the woodland taste because it gives it a sort of, I'm weird, y'all, I'm weird. I like sour sweet, I like earthy and like stupidly, weirdly metallic. I like the polar opposites in my mouth. But at this point, with this thing broken, I'm just gonna slump it over my shoulder like ye old Santa Claus and keep on a marching. But yeah, y'all, basically it's everything that I bitch about could be relieved without needing to bother your local congressman. I mean, I highly suggest you bother them. Bother them immensely. They get paid 10 times what we do, and their job is so much easier nowadays. Because basically they just get calls from old Republican people. They promise they'll be extra racist for them, and then they go away. When you try to go talk to them in Congress, check in on my dude, Cyrus. Cyrus, if you ever notice the angry dude walking, please, sir, you're one of my favorite streamers outside of Hannah and some of the more niche ones. But please, sir, let us do a collab. I would like to go with you someday to some of these capitals and whatnot. I would like to see the difference being made. Because I don't see it out here. Maybe you do. I'm not faulting you if you do. But right now you live, if I'm recalling correctly from your videos, near Stone Mountain-esque. Do you know that Stone Mountain is once again suing the U.S. government? Not because they want to do something fun like take off the racists on the front of the rock or anything like that. They're not saying anything like that. They want to put up a sign, a big-ass wooden sign with Harriet Tubman and a few of the other, like, super popular figures that says, hey, by the way, y'all, slavery's bad and the Confederacy was not good, but they were there. The government wants to put up that neutered sign, and basically they're getting the crap suit out of them. And me personally, if I had my way, I'd say let's, oh, that upset you? Okay, well, we can make that way worse. I'd say let's deface the monument, put Byrne and Sherman up there, and the major Union generals, and then coat that entire place with signs that say, by the way, Confederacy was cucked. Just a thought. One, I don't think that's the best insult, but it does rhyme, and let's face it, in a time of immense stupidity, rhyming's half the battle. I don't know, y'all. I'm feeling funny today. Yesterday, I got wildly sick, had to go home early. We got the electric bill paid, but with me getting sick at work, I'm probably not going to get all that I need out of that check. So Midday Green is once again going to drag my forced fucking loan out one more time. Also, And by the way, this is not me asking for money. If you have any money to spare whatsoever, fuck my Ko-Fi. Go to www.thetrevorproject.com. Go there, hit donate. Donate whatever you would to me to them. They need it right now, y'all. Our jackass government just cut the funding of the kids' suicide hotline. Which I know, funny joke from ICP and various people. But I'll point out again, the kids' suicide hotline is very important. And for a gay kid, especially in this kind of bigoted shithole area, yeah, that might be what is the difference between living and dead. And I might hate some of the people, but y'all, everyone deserves to be here. And I think, again, I'm crazy, wild communist for it, I guess. But I think everyone deserves to live here in a smallish house like that with at least one means of transportation, ideally something green, food in the cabinets, And that's it. What do you have to do to earn that? Cross my motherfucking borders. That's all it takes. Sign up, start helping around, because a happy community is a community that helps itself. There's a reason that where Forget-Me-Not lives is a totally different looking area than where I live. And yes, someone might be more likely to tell you to fuck off and throw something at you. But look at those parks they got, y'all. Not a spit of litter anywhere. Their roadways are kind of pretty at times. But it's because there's old fogies that walk out there knowing that they're not going to get hurt and having a place to walk. And they do the kind of shit that I do and just pick up the litter where they can. Because, y'all, I can't get it all. I'm having to leave a lot behind. There's a lot of poison left on this hill. But you want to know how much there would have been if I hadn't just done a tiny bit? About a bucket's worth. My reward? It's about 90 degrees right now, and the sun is just rising up to show me some beautiful new blues and grays that I hadn't thought about before. Maybe even some pinks and whites and... Oh, fuck, is that a storm? There are storms reported in the area, and that does very much look like what that is. On the bright side, work is just over there, maybe another less than a mile, and here very soon, we're going to be at the part where we just cut off and say goodbye for now. I am very amiss that none of my regulars showed up to chat, and I miss y'all. I hope y'all can show up for the next one, or possibly the walk home. I'm going to be honest with y'all, if that hits and doesn't pass before I got to go, or before I got to come home, I might not do the live stream walking home, because, you know, I'll be walking home with a couple trash bags over me in the bucket and making it through the toughest part best I can. Because that walk I just did, I got to do it again after about 9 hours of work. What a world, eh? But we got it, y'all, and hopefully you got it. Just try to work together, and not every stream's going to be a great one. I do this every day, and every day I'm exposing myself to more and more of the bad news as well as the good. And yeah, I keep trying to look for the happiness makers, the ones that are making the difference. But I'm not seeing a lot of them in the main world. I'm seeing a lot of them on YouTube. Check out Squid Tips. He's out there on the front lines in LA last I checked. Check out Hassan. He's a fucking household name at this point. I think you don't need me to shout him out. Check out Surus and some of the other people. Look for the people that are actually doing. And don't sponsor people like me that are just talking. Go sponsor people that are actually doing. That are making a difference. Also, I am kind of happy that no one showed up and called me homeless today. Thank y'all for that. That was mildly offensive to me. Because I do have a home, and I work my ungodly ass off for that home. It's a home that I share, and it's a home that we don't own that can be taken away at any point because of the new renter laws in Georgia. Look them up. Your landlord now, by Georgia law, can basically kick you out same way as your boss can fire you for any given reason they so choose. Can't imagine how that's going to hurt people, right? Also, the other program that I hadn't talked about quite yet, and I'll try to read up on it and get more into it, but all this, and this I don't even understand why, because nobody here without proper, even the ones here with proper stuff, can't get food stamps. Food stamps and snaps is strictly an American citizen thing. But the Department of Justice under Trump's America, and especially ICE, are in a fight right now with the SNAP and TANF programs, because they're demanding all of their data and all of their addressee information. And for the record, the reason you should be a little bit worried about this, it's an organization that's paid more than the U.S. military, more than the U.S. Navy, more than the U.S. Marines, more than the rest of the world's military combined. And they're getting ready to look through every single purchase you ever made with your food stamp card. Boy, howdy, I sure hope my fellow Southerners were not selling their food stamps, because if you were friends, the government might audit your food stamp card, and you better be able to tell them why you bought feminine stuff if you a dude and you ain't trans. Well, then again, even if you is trans. What I'm saying is, that's a part of the government that certain branches should not have access to, and the fact that it's going to court yesterday, and I haven't seen results yet, doesn't bode well. Hopefully it's still up in arms and people are still fighting the good fight. But let's face it, the faith that I have in the Democratic Party is nowhere near for whose team I'm supposedly on. I think that we got a bunch of lazy career politicians that ain't gonna do shit. And I would run if I could, but y'all, I run to work and I barely get sick. I still got another 10 miles to go if I want to get to the actual City Hall of Cartersville. And about 20 to go if I want to get to my City Hall in New Harley. And by the way, just so y'all can see, in order to do that, I would need to go down that road for roughly about 15 miles and then cut over and go another 10 miles to basically get to the U Harley library where they do the food trucks and the farmers market. I would need to go there to basically do anything that's a community event in my town. It happens on that side of the tracks, on that little community area. A side of the tracks we don't get to go to from my side because there's a large bridge in between the two, and we are just not allowed to cross that bridge on foot at all. Now, I could hitch a ride, but there are rules against panhandling and hitchhiking as well, so I guess I'm just fucked and I don't get to have my voice heard, huh? Except, you know, I got YouTube. I got any of y'all good folks want to get my voice and messages out there, and we got each other. And together, I think we can topple any fucking evil organization or enterprise if everyone gets together and everyone fights it strong, unabashedly and unafraid of the consequences of saying it. Y'all, unfortunately, we're getting back to that part of America where it's just that. I'll say what I need to say, because I'd rather die free and obstinate than live forever in some weird, tyrannical, fascist piece of shit universe. And make no mistake, Canada is basically America's hat. They'll fall just as soon as we do. Mexico will put up the good fight. I don't doubt it, but I don't know if they can stand against the united force of Canada and the U.S. I mean, I hope they can. I truly do. They got their problems too, but their problems ain't nearly as bad as our problems. I mean, fuck, man. That's the third car I've heard that basically starts and stops at the light to save on gas. Now, one, I'm not going to complain because that's, you know, to my knowledge, helping the environment as well. It's burning less fossil fuel. But at the same time, it's sad people so poor they got to stop their car at the light to try to preserve the gas in the tank. But by all means, aren't we winning, y'all? Isn't this the American dream your dipshit old uncles wanted? Your wildly racist old uncles, if I had to take a wild guess? Because I know mine was. But then again, nobody that I know that was from my family willing to help, other than my old dead mama, was willing to do a damn thing without first having cash put in their hand. Eventually, I may have to ask y'all for money. Honestly, if I hadn't made that $8 in time, I would be. But we made that $8, and I'm going to survive. If you can donate anything, donate to the Trevor Project. They have been unfunded by the U.S. government, and a whole bunch of kids, just like a whole bunch of U.S. soldiers, no longer have a suicide hotline for when it gets too real out there. The other thing I'd say is contact them, and if you can't donate, but you can hold a lot of that nasty in your belly, go, donate your time with them, because sometimes all a kid needs to do is be able to vent about how their mother hates them, their father hates them, they don't have any safety net, and yeah, all the terrible tragedy that a poor queer child in Georgia or any other southern state would go through. Sometimes all they need is someone to listen. I might not be able to tell them how to fix their problem, but I can just sit there quietly and that's rough, buddy. I feel it. And sometimes that's all it takes. That was a honeybee. Sadly, it was a New England honeybee, not one of our fine southern honeybees. But still, honeybees may making honey. And I see one last piece of trash I gotta grab up before I get in. But y'all be good, and remember, any tiny difference does make a difference. And yeah, you won't be noticed. You won't be noticed doing good, because doing good isn't popular. It'd be way cooler for me to be sitting here bitching at all the truck drivers and shit, waving something and being an asshole. What I do by just talking to y'all good folks here, getting the message out there online and collecting my shit quietly, is I get people curious, I get people interested. And eventually I might get people that also take this unique I don't know how to rebrand Fight Club, but fuck, I wish I could. So many people misunderstood that movie. But yeah, y'all, be the difference you want to see. Change what you can and understand what you can't. It's basically the rules we got to play by until we can get to power again. And we will. Y'all, the needle never stays in fascism. Fascism is a self-eating problem. It will kill itself eventually. The problem is that it'll take a whole lot of people with it. And the last time it took itself out, well, that was with the full weight of the world pressing against it. I would rather not let it get rebirthed in America with our infinite, it seems, love of violence and bloodshed and death. But those are my opinions. I gotta go before I get too close to work. But look at that pretty sunrise. Y'all be good. Stick together. Community comes first. Stay hydrated. Especially if you're going to be out protesting. Stay hydrated because that'll sneak up on you. And stay in the shade where you can stay in the shade. We work in the shadows, but we fight for the light. Endure and survive. Gonna poke the camera now.